When I look to the heavens and see the work of your hands, as I cast my eyes to the stars, I'm stunned by your love.
Wow. It's kind of weird being in here because this is our garage that we're working slowly towards completing, and this is the first time I've ever let anyone from the outside world take a look at the project that we've been working on, or more to the point, our friends have been working on, and I'm pretty excited. I always say that, I'm pretty excited. So this is kind of a first for me. I'm in the middle of what is a conversion into the room that's going to be my room that I'm going to work from. All the Pyramid Park stuff that's going to come out from here, this very room here, and we're converting what is our garage into a sort of office come studio come merch storage area, and it's been a work in progress for a little while. It's been an idea for months and months and months, and I'm finally here showing you the inside as we're kind of halfway through having it complete. And today the roof skylight went in, which is amazing, and the place is starting to feel like it's a reality. And for me as a creative, having that space to actually be able to just get away from home and write and play and record and work and think and strategize, all these things is so invaluable, and the fact we've been able to do this is incredible, and I don't take it for granted at all. I thought this room would be perfect to share the song story for Lead Me, which is quickly becoming the song that everyone seems to be adding to playlists, and it's a nice surprise because it's the song that kind of crept up on us a little bit on the Vulnerability project. I personally, Lead Me is, if not my favourite, one of my favourite songs, certainly in the top 3 of my favourite songs on the album, and it's always the one that I've kind of thought, I hope people like it because I really like it and I want to share it with as many people as possible. Lead Me began while I was putting together some sort of loop come, I don't know, beat kind of project on Logic, and just creating this kind of sound, these rhythms and these bass lines and these kind of moog lines, where I was just trying to create something that was just interesting. It was more for me to have space to create, and I was struggling to write really good songs at the time, and a lot of Vulnerability has come out from that place of not being able to write for a long period of time and struggling to be able to engage in what I felt were heartfelt and thought through songs. And so Lead Me was just a project on the side which I just thought, hey, this would be fun to do. And as I was just creating it, these lyrics were coming to me like, lead me, lead me, lead me, lead me, Lord, to you. So I just added that in and just sang that along with the parts, and allowed the thing to develop. For all songwriters, I think it's really good to have places to store your ideas, and most people never get from taking it from their phone to somewhere else. And I've got these folders where I just like had maybe 30, 40 ideas and titled them all so that I knew that they were ideas and they at least had a chorus and maybe a bridge as well. I guess it was a few months before I picked it back up again, because it was this project and I was like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting. Maybe I'll have a listen to it. And I generally don't like listening to recordings that I made, but I really like this little recording. And so put it down. I'd given myself a goal to write all these songs in a short space of time and to finish some songs off. And so I was like, right, this is definitely going to be in that pile. The other pile were kind of material that I liked, but I never thought it would become a song, or it was just a tag, or just something I'd use in worship but I wouldn't use necessarily on a recording. I think the lyrics were pretty quickly crafted. Lead Me is all about, it's a prayer for me. It's not really a worship song, it's not really anything but a prayer, and the whole idea is focusing on the bigness of God. And when I look to the heavens, see the work of your hands, as I cast my eyes to the stars, I'm stunned by your love. And I really like the word stunned. I've used it before in a song many years ago, and talking about being stunned by the grace of God. And when we're stunned, it's like we're shocked, or we're kind of grasped by something so much that it just overwhelms us. And thinking about how God of the heavens, really thinking and regurgitating and meditating and reflecting on how God of the heavens calls us by name. He holds us in the palm of his hand. He calls us out from darkness into light. He sent his son Jesus to die for us. I am stunned by that kind of incredible grace and that incredible mercy and love. And so Lead Me was kind of that thing where I really wanted to make sure that word was in there and it really reflected how I felt about God. And then I wanted to look beyond just what happens in the natural and how we can be amazed at God by just looking at creation and looking at the world around us, in the positive sides of the world around us. And then I thought about, well, what about the spiritual? What about the stuff that is beyond what we can see, but we know is real? And how, when I see God at work in that way, behind my natural eyes, surely he is for me, surely he is good, and surely he is working all things together for my good. That amazes me and that inspires me. So when it came to the chorus, it was just a case of, well, God, if that's the case, then lead me closer to you. I want your word to be hidden in my heart, and I want to go deeper until I see you for who you really are. And I think, honestly, that is not just a prayer for one day and then tomorrow it's going to be answered. It's a prayer for every day. It's a prayer for every moment. It's a prayer that kind of will probably be prayed on my heart for the rest of my life, because I want God's words that he's spoken and written down in the Bible to be regurgitating in me and reflecting and going through me and in me and then out of me. And I want to see him in greater ways, and I want to know him. It's so easy that we can kind of want God because of what he does and what he can do for us, or if not for what he can do for us, for what he can do for other people that we need help with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. In fact, I think it's wonderful. And God generously gives to us. But recently I've been reflecting on how it's so easy to reflect on needing God's hand. But I think what he desires is for us to look for his face. And as we look for his face, as we seek his face, as we seek to have intimate connection with him, eyes on eyes, and closeness, oneness, togetherness, enjoying community with him, enjoying the sense of communion. I think he desires that for us, because it's in that place that we find peace and rest and hope and restoration. And so I've been really reflecting on, okay, God, I really want to not just seek your hand because I need your hand, but I want to seek your face because I want to know you. When I met with my friend Fermi to run through some songs and work through a couple of specifics, I played in this track and he was like, yeah, you've definitely got to add it to the album. But he was like, I think there's something more that you need to add to it. I had 3 verses, I had the chorus, but I didn't have any kind of tag or bridge or anything. And we kind of wanted to keep it simple as a recording, and so he was just like, yeah, how about this, like, to the bright white, and we kind of played around that first line and added, to the bright white blazing sunlight. I remember us bashing out the notes on the piano, going da 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 da, until we got the right melodic line, and then finishing that song with that little tag without it even really being a bridge was for me the icing on the cake, and made the track what it is from a songwriting perspective. We took it to Ian in the studio, and Ian was like really up for doing something a little different with this song. I guess I was thinking it's probably going to sit somewhere around the middle of the album, so we need to just change things up a little bit and make sure that there's a little bit of difference. But as we developed the song, and we wanted to keep it short, kind of not overextend, because there were other songs on the album that were kind of longer and we wanted to give them room to kind of be their thing. We felt Lead Me was just like a start and an end. It was like a simple prayer. We begin it and we end it, and then we move on. And so it remains something like 3 minutes or 3 minutes 10. And kind of every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I want to play that again, because it just it kind of simmers all the way through but never really builds to a big crescendo, and that's the kind of effect we wanted. We didn't really want any drums in it, we wanted it just to kind of have that low kind of thuddy kick going on, and then let the arpeggiators just take the build, and let the vocal parts really and the kind of percussive programming stuff that Fermi added to really bring that kind of depth and that interest to the song. And I'm really chuffed because every time we listened to it in the studio we were like, this is a good song. Like, we were surprised, which is always a good thing because it's so much worse listening to a song that you think is good and then it's rubbish and you're like, I've got to scrap it. So we loved Leave Me and kind of went, I think this needs to be further up, and it ended up being pushed right up to track number 3. After the 2 singles, it's the entry point to the album. I got such a dusty bottom. I'm working as hard as I can to make these vlogs weekly, where I share Thursday, 3 PM. You can expect a vlog from me, either talking about the song stories or the journey of Pyramid Park, or somewhere where we might be touring or playing, or just some background information about what we're doing next. And I'll even probably show you this room when it's finished as well, because I like things like that. But please subscribe, please like, please share, and we'll just keep building this thing, and let's see whether we can get to like 150 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you like wood, come to our house because we have lots of offcuts, and if you have things like wood burners, I recommend. Or if you like making things out of little bits of wood, like, I don't know, something wood-like.